Thank you for your interest in the Stillwater High School dual enrollment and PSEO information. School counselors are great advocates and great help in terms of helping students get access to these programs, and most importantly, as we're talking about PSEO, meaning post-secondary enrollment options program, the school counselors will be the folks that will help with that, and students hopefully know who their school counselor is. The contact information is here on this screen. Dual enrollment and college credit earning options are varied at Stillwater High School. We have advanced placement courses, which are monitored by the College Board, and in order to earn credit for those courses in college, students have to score a certain level on their PSEO exam, or excuse me, their AP exams, and that each college is different in terms of how they interpret those scores and those credits. Articulated classes are high school classes that have been articulated with some college credit options, and those go through either Century College. I think we have some through Mankato State, so different places that we have articulated classes, and those can be found in our registration materials. College in the Schools is a program through the University of Minnesota where a class is taught here on our campus at Stillwater High School by our teachers who have been trained and certified at the University of Minnesota for their College in the Schools program, and the students can earn college credits for courses taken in high school. Concurrent enrollment, similar to that, is Century College, for example, does concurrent enrollment for credit in several of our programs, including all of our top music programs. So that's another way for students to start a college transcript and earn college credit. Project Lead the Way is basically through the engineering program in the industrial technology area. So classes taken through the Project Lead the Way program could potentially, students could potentially access some college credit with the Project Lead the Way courses as well. 916 Career and Tech is another way for students to earn college credits, and those are more on the technical school side of the program, and that is at Century College also on their East Campus, and we have several opportunities for students to take career and tech classes and get credits toward a technical program that they may want to pursue after high school. And then the last one, post-secondary enrollment options, is the program I'm going to spend a little more time talking about today. PSEO is a state program, so it's only available to students in Minnesota schools and in Minnesota colleges and universities. For more information on the dual enrollment and college credit earning options, you could actually link into our website and see academic opportunities, and there's links to several of these items which I just shared with you. What is PSEO? It's an opportunity for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders in Minnesota to enroll and attend classes through a Minnesota college university off of the high school campus. So students will actually go to the college campus to take these courses. Full-time PSEO means that students are taking all of their classes at the college campus and no classes at the high school. Probably our most common choice for students is part-time, so they're enrolled in either anywhere from 1 to 5 courses at the high school and maybe 1 to 3 courses in PSEO at the college level. 10th graders are limited to a career and technical course for their first semester of PSEO, and then after that, they could potentially take more college credits. But initially, if a 10th grader wanted to pursue PSEO, they would be doing a career and technical course. And then many schools offer online courses. When I say many schools, I mean colleges and universities. So the student would be responsible for structuring their time in those online courses, as well as their in-person courses that they may take. In terms of registration for PSEO, students often ask, how do I sign up for PSEO? And it's not something you sign up for, it's something you have to apply for. So we had our students register already, and they were required to register for a full 12 credits at Stillwater High School with 5 alternates. Once the student decides they want to pursue PSEO, they have to apply and be accepted and then register for their PSEO classes at the college, and then we would adjust the high school course schedule to match what they're doing at the college with their college courses. And this scheduling update usually occurs in August once the students have registered for their college classes and we have an opportunity to see where those land in their school day and whether or not they want to take some classes at the high school. We'd be able to help them, or we would help them monitor or adjust their high school schedule to meet their PSEO course schedule as well. College credit versus high school credit. Every 2 college credits is equivalent to 1 high school credit. And all college courses are typically only 1 semester long. So if a student takes a 4-credit college course, so it's worth 4 credits at the college, that's equivalent to 2 high school credits. So if, for example, the Century College intro or their college comp, their first intro course, is a 4-credit English course. So that would equate to 2 high school credits, or the equivalent of a full year's worth of high school English in a 4-credit class. A 3-credit class would be 1.5 credits. So if your requirement is that you need 2 full credits, if you took a 3-credit class, you would only get 1.5 credits. So you would have to find another college class to make up for that other half a credit that you need to reach the full 4 credits to 2-credit equivalency. Questions about that certainly can be answered by the school counselors, as well as potentially the folks at the college level, the advisors that students will work with. PSEO grades and credits are not weighted grades on your transcript, unlike unlike AP and college in the schools, and those kind of classes are weighted. PSEO classes are not weighted grades. Students are already getting the benefit of the college credit by taking PSEO classes. So the process to apply for PSEO is first to determine which institutions the student would like to apply to. Century is probably the most common place our students go, but we've had students at Inver Hills Community College. I have a student at Metro State. We've had students go to, this year I have someone at St. Cloud State. We've had students in Mankato. So it just depends on where they want to go. They have to do an application to each individual institution. You use your chosen prospective PSEO school website as an application guide. So Century has their own information, the U of M has their own information, St. Cloud, Mankato, all of those campuses would have their own PSEO information on their websites, and students would need to follow their instructions as to how to apply for their program. Once you do that piece, you could also reach out to your counselor and obtain, review, and sign our Stillwater Area High School PSEO agreement form. We have those available in our offices, in the counseling offices, and students will need, and parents will need to sign off on that agreement so they understand what it means to be a PSEO student and how that impacts their high school credits and information. So planning a meeting with your high school counselor about PSEO forms is going to be an important step as well. There's several forms that you need to fill out, but there's also a couple of things that the counselor needs to complete for you. And we'd highly recommend that students start working on that now. Now through May is probably when we do most of that work, and be sure to watch deadlines for the different colleges to which you are applying. Some campuses will require a placement test, or they want test results. So you'd want to gather that information. Refer to each institution's testing requirements for what they need in terms of placement testing of it that you would need in order to place into college level coursework. Apply with all application paperwork to PSEO institution, and it says paperwork, but really it's not paper, it's almost all online. So just making sure that you do the application, you get your transcripts sent over there, and transcripts are available through Parchment. I'll talk a little bit about that. Also, test scores if they need them. There's a notice of student registration form that both the student and parents and the counselor have to sign off on, and that form has to be completed every semester that the student is in PSEO. And then some schools have additional materials. For example, University of Minnesota, Twin Cities requires a balance sheet to determine what classes the student still needs in order to graduate from high school. Once the student receives a confirmation of acceptance from the PSEO institution, they will be invited to attend an orientation or meet with a college advisor, and that actually would happen at Century in April, or some other institutions maybe in the summer, where you'd actually meet with the advisor and plan the courses that you want to take at the college level. Once you have those determined, you communicate your PSEO schedule with your high school counselor, and we would adjust your schedule here, as I mentioned, to coordinate with your PSEO schedule. And then you, in the fall, so actually many of the, or actually not all the campuses, but some of the campuses start even before we do. Century College will start the week before Stillwater starts school, but make sure you're watching those schedules and attending classes once they get started, both at the high school if you're coming here and at the college level if you're going there. This screen is kind of hard to read, but just to let you know that there is a way to get your transcript on Parchment. It's parchment.com. All students should set up an account with Parchment, and then once you do that, your transcript will upload there, and then you can either order your transcript or you can self-view your transcript and then do a download of that to upload into your application for PSEO. Or you can print it out as well, but it's just as easy to download it because pretty much all of the materials need to be sent via online for all of the applications now. So there's a video you could actually watch in terms of learning how to get your transcript in Parchment and how do you see your transcript in Parchment. That will be used from here on out with regard to college applications, even after you graduate from high school. If you need a high school transcript for any reason, you would get it from Parchment. Once you have your transcript on there, you will see your cumulative GPA. In some campuses, that is what they use in terms of their determination for acceptance to PSEO. This is kind of a small version also of our high school profile, but on the back side of the high school profile is a little section that has your unweighted and weighted decile rank information. So you can take a look at that and plug your GPA into that chart and determine what decile you rank in. And for Century College and all the Minnesota State College University System schools, a student applying for PSEO as a junior would need to be in the top 1/3 of their class or in the 3rd decile or higher, and a senior would need to be in the top 50% of their class or the 5th decile or higher. Other schools will have different requirements, but that's the general information needed for most campuses. PSEO websites, Century College, as I mentioned, has their own PSEO information. The University of Minnesota does. I also share here University of Northwestern, just as an example for private schools. There are a number of private schools in the Twin Cities that will offer PSEO classes for students. Northwestern is one of them, but there's also Bethel, Concordia. We have students go to a variety of different places. The Northwestern might be the most common, but certainly there are other options to choose from as well. Minnesota Department of Education PSEO website has everything you ever wanted to know about PSEO and more. So that would be another place to look if you're still considering PSEO and want to know more about it. Their forms are on there also. The Minnesota Notice of Student Registration form can be found on the Department of Education website. Century College will have their own PSEO info meetings. So if you're interested in Century for PSEO, there are several dates available for you to still meet with them and learn more about their program. So I would encourage looking at those and potentially joining in on one of those. A couple of those are virtual. Some of them are in person if you wanted to go over to the campus. But those would be great ways to get more information about PSEO. At our PSEO information session with our students, we did have someone from Century College speak, and that information is shared on our website as well, the presentation that she did. But you may want to go directly to them for more information. University of Minnesota also has PSEO information sessions and tours. They have an application deadline of April 15th, whereas Century College has an application deadline of July 1st. But they want a student to make a commitment, and we do too, make a commitment to PSEO by May 30th so that they have time to get all of their paperwork together, or their documents together, I should say, to be able to get their application done. So the U of M has 2 sessions coming up that you could certainly register for and attend if you're interested in the U of M. Much more selective, a little more difficult to get to in terms of getting over there, transportation, parking, all those things, which are all the responsibility of the student and the family in terms of getting to the classes. We do not provide transportation for PSEO at all. Some other thoughts. It's an awesome opportunity, but it's not for everyone. There's reward versus risk always to consider. When a student does PSEO, they are a college student. So the college does not communicate with parents or with the high school If a student is missing class or there's other concerns going on, we would not get notification, nor would parents. The only notifications we get are what the students register for and their grades reported to our high school to be put on our high school transcript. So keeping that in mind as you're looking at PSEO, knowing that it's a really independent, individual student responsibility, really important for students to be ready for that. The other challenge might be to stay connected to the high school. You want to stay connected with your friends and your this information that we might put out. College and Career Center puts out lots of information about scholarships and things like that. The principal's office puts out information in a newsletter. All of that information, if a student is full-time PSEO, is the student's responsibility to look for and to find. Some students are ready to be done with high school and they want to go straight to college and just put all their focus there. And some like to keep their foot in the door at the high school, so they do part-time high school and part-time PSEO. The student would need to embrace being a college student. You're going to be in classes with students, adult students that are college students. So making sure that you understand that process and that information as you head off to the college as well. And then organization and time management is going to be really important for students to be on top of things. You're very independent at the college course level, and there's expectations that even though the course might meet 3 hours a week, that probably means there's at least 3 hours more for each course outside of that class to be able to get all this work done that needs to be accomplished. So again, all independent things for students to be responsible for. If you have specific questions, we would encourage you to reach out to your school counselor. Obviously, you'll want to reach out to them to get some of those forms completed. But it is important that you know what you're getting into with regard to PSEO, and let us know if there's anything we can do to support you and help you with that plan and that process. Thanks so much for attending or watching our presentation.